What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a great day out there. Today, guys, is going to be a little bench video with the new RLAARLO AK917. We're going to go over a few things because, the last few videos I put out, there seems to be some misinformation on the car I'm running, the electronics, and we're going to go over some of the modifications that I made and what has worked, what hasn't worked, and also the gearing on this car, and one little issue that is going on with trying to run all the supplied gearing and what I did to make it work. So the first thing I want to go over is which model, because there is many models of this car out there. There is a full carbon fiber version roller. There is the alloy version roller. Then there's the alloy RTR with the 2S/3S electronics. And then there's the carbon fiber RTR with the 4S electronics in it. Guys, this one is the all alloy version with the small electronics. This is running, you can see down here, if I can move this power wire, this is the VS60, the 2S/3S ESC in here. And I've been running this on 3S. And guys, honestly, I'm pretty proud the fact that I've got this thing to 83 miles per hour with the stock electronics. The only thing I've done is the gearing that they supplied with it and a set of foam tires. Now, as you can see here, this is the stock spur that comes on the car. This is the next smallest one that comes with it, and this is the stock 30-tooth pinion. Now, I am running the smallest spur that's supplied with this. Now, I've been seeing some other guys out there trying to use that spur and all, however, running into the same problem I did. And, of course, that is the issue that is going on with this motor mount, is that, as you can see right here, I'm going to try to get a close enough shot, is that obviously this screw at the top or the bottom or the top, or do both of them, whichever you want to do. I only had to do the top, but I obviously ground down that screw at the top here so that the screw would slide over farther, and made that hole, I don't know, probably another 2 millimeters longer so that the screw would slide closer towards the spur. As you guys can see, everything meshed up, runs nice and smooth, no issues with that. Got the motor mount, everything mounted back in there again. Worked out great. Took it out for that run yesterday, and we hit 83 miles per hour with this current setup. Now, the other issue I'm kind of running into is just the simple adjusting of the motor mount. Now, you could take off this back carriage, and I always do that. I always pull off this whole back assembly with the 2 screws down here and the 2 that come through the upper shock tower. And then it makes it a lot easier to get to these screws. And I mentioned this in a previous video because adjusting your mesh and tightening these screws up is kind of a little bit of a finagle to get your screw through here. Like I said, they sell an upgrade, and I'm not sure, honestly, I didn't look to see if on the carbon fiber version, if it comes stock, but the mount that has the screws on top to adjust right here, definitely make it a lot easier to adjust your motor mount and your mesh. Now, the other things, I'm not sure where this rubbing is coming from the drive shaft. I don't know if it was coming off my battery or battery lead, because there's nothing really for it to hit right there. But in the front here, and RLAARLO put out a little statement about this, that you can adjust this servo box and move it a tiny bit away so that it doesn't rub right here. I haven't moved mine just yet, but there is a fix for that, and it's easy enough, and I think they might be doing that change in the final product. Now, there's also been some talk about interference with the carbon fiber version and the wires and the path that the antenna was led on. This is where I have mine running. I honestly can't even remember where it was at in the stock form, or if this is where it was. However, I have mine just running across the top brace here. This is a carbon fiber paint, I think, or a layer, like a sticky stuff, but it's plastic. So it's not, I haven't ran into any interference. And you guys seen, I've had mine out there some pretty good distances and haven't ran into any signal loss or interference yet. Now, as you guys seen, and I talked about, I put these foams on here for the run yesterday. They work beautiful, really like the tires. I put the link in the description on the video, but I'll drop it down on this one again. However, one thing you got to do when running these foams is you'll see this wing right here is a little bit longer in the stock form. I trimmed that out with a pair of body scissors because, as you guys can see here, whenever it hit a few bumps, apparently it lightly touched that tire. Not a very deep groove. I'm not worried about it, but I did trim that out, and now it will clear if it does hit any heavy bumps and it won't hit the tire. Now, that's the big reason why a lot of these cars get sent out, to get tested ahead of time before the final release, is to kind of find these weird little things, because, you put a car together, you can test it, but until it gets in the hands of the guys out there running them, modifying how they modify them and change things, do you start noticing some of these little things that get in the way and problems, and RLAARLO is working on correcting pretty much everything that's been talked about so far. A lot of other guys are finding other weird little problems. So one big thing, guys, every car has little issues out of the box, but the important thing is the company recognizes them and corrects them in the final product or does a re-release of the corrected parts. And again, on this gearing, I don't know what gears they originally intended to be used together on this thing. Now, obviously, they included that spur in with the package with that pin. Now, I don't know if these were never tested together before, it was kind of tested at the factory. I'm not sure what the deal was with that, or maybe with the other style motor mount, that slides in enough and that problem doesn't happen. But with this motor mount, these two gears, which is the 46, I believe, the 40-tooth pinion, and then I think it's the 46-tooth spur. Don't hold me to that. But I think that's the two combinations here. But that motor mount, the stock motor mount with the rear-facing screws, do not just immediately line up. You do have to do a little modification, and that's what I did to make mine work. Besides that, guys, honestly, I have been super happy, and I am thoroughly impressed with the car, especially with the stock electronics, because this is not, like I said, these are not the 4S ESC in here, because guys were saying, other guys, been hitting greater speeds, or if you run that thing on 4S, you'll get up to 100 mile an hour. Well, it's not the 4S system, because this is just the 3S system in here, the 2S/3S system. But guys, anyway, these are just a few little things I wanted to touch base on. Anybody else that when you get these, so that you can kind of, if you have the same model I do, so you kind of know some of the little things you might need to change. Some of these things might be fixed in the final production. However, I just figured I'd throw this video out there and let everybody know. Also, the other stuff I took off, obviously I got rid of the tire on the back, got rid of some of the extra plastic pieces that were just kind of in the way during changing gears and stuff that I don't need, because obviously this has turned into a speed run car. A lot of guys are going to use these just as street cars, so it's not as big of a deal, because I also removed the headlights and all the wiring and got rid of all of that. Now, I do believe I have another body coming for this thing with the upgraded fan that's in the body. So when I get that, is probably one of my plans are to maybe change out the ESC and go to a 4S ESC. I really think this motor will have no problem hitting 100 mile an hour, but the ESC is just not driving it hard enough. So that will be the next step in this, is running this thing on 4S and seeing what I can do. But, I mean, heck, guys, 83 mile an hour with stock electronics and just gearing is pretty impressive to me. And durability-wise, on run number 3, as you guys can see, a couple times the car left the road, went off into the ditch. The one time it tumbled and rolled at like 70-some mile an hour, and everything held together great. I re-glued a little brace on here, but other than that, that was the only thing that had broke on this thing, and everything else is quite stout and holding up very well. I did put the little clear decal cover over top of the chassis to at least protect. Cool little Bars&tone etching in there, but I did have to take off it from there down so that I could get the screws out to change out the gearing, because as many of you guys know, with this current setup, when you're changing out the spur, you have to detach the whole entire center drive shaft in order to get the motor mount out and get that all out of there. So what I've been doing, and I don't know if there's an easier way and if I'm just doing it the hard way, but basically I've been loosening it with taking the whole rear bulkhead screws out so the bulkhead can slide back. It just makes it a lot easier. I've gotten pretty quick with it now, but I don't know if there's going to be an easier way, or if I'm doing it the hard way. If somebody else has an easier way of changing that out without taking that all apart, please let me know down in the comments. But anyway, guys, it is a beautiful day, and we're getting ready to hopefully head down to the motocross track and have a little fun with some cars. But I wanted to touch base on the modifications that I've made on my 917 here and what I've been having good luck with, and just the little things I've experienced so far. And I know RLAARLO is working on, like I said, a lot of the weird little issues, the receiver stuff and the battery or the servo box and stuff like that. So they are getting feedback from everybody and making some corrections to the final product, and I know those will be getting released here very soon. I don't have a date, guys. I wish I knew, but they will be there soon. But other than that, and the body's held up very well also. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. If you guys have any other questions, drop a comment down below and I'll try to answer them back. But guys, this is what I have done and what I'm running on my 917. And so far, she's ripping along pretty nicely and pretty happy with the car. Definitely some more videos to come with this, and we're going to be running this thing on 4S here soon, and hoping to hit that 100-mile-an-hour mark, and I definitely think the car is capable of it. But like I said, guys, if you were planning on going above, 65, 70 mile an hour, if you have the alloy chassis version, because I know the carbon fiber version has different wheels and tires on it, but if you have the skinny rubber tires on this 3S RTR version, do yourself a favor no matter what and get yourself a set of foam tires. These things made a big difference on the control and tracking and how this thing ripped down the road. So definitely change out your tires. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it. I hope you all enjoyed the little video today. That is it. So until next time, y'all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.